And the title of our paper is on determination of geochemical properties of inline flocculated fine fluid tailings. In short, I will refer to as FFT. It's the same class of material as MFT, but we prefer to call it as FFT, fine fluid tailings. And I'd like also to acknowledge my co-author, Professor Ward Wilson from University of Alberta, and also Dr. Robert Donald Hood from Applied Geochemical Engineering, also a former associate professor from University of Alberta. And I should mention that this paper is overdue. In fact, it's supposed to be presented 2 years ago, as it was withdrawn the last minute for one of the conference, but you were allowed to do the presentation. As for the outline of our presentation, I'll talk on, after my short introduction, I'll talk on the pilot plant, just to show the pilot plant where the inline FFT was produced, and also the objective of, the specific objective of the umbrella objective of dewatering. And I'll talk on the geotechnical properties of the FFT, which will be included particle size distribution, index properties, and to finish, I'll talk on a large strain consolidation of the sample when to collect from the deposit, which I will show the compressibility curve and the hydraulic conductivities. And I'll end up with some observations and conclusions. And of course, acknowledgement of people and company which contributed to this research work. And this is really a specific objective, which is for this paper under the umbrella of the main objective of dewatering process. And the specific objective of this work was to evaluate the geochemical properties of the inline FFT from thin lift deposit. As well, in fact, thin lift, how do you define the thickness of the thin lift? In this case, their target was, they are almost 40 centimeters, centimeters thickness as the target for their thickness. And this shows the pilot plant in summer 2010, where the MFT and the centrifuge cake was produced. As you can see here, this is a centrifuge cake, which has very high solid content and shear strength, which could only be transported by truck to the deposition cell. And the inline flocculated were pumped through these pipes to the deposition cell. And I should also mention that this project, in fact, was conducted by Syncrude and Total. And this slide shows the deposition cell. As you can see here, this is the construction of the cell, which was 50 times 100 meters size. And of course, it was constructed at a certain angle so that upon the deposition, so you have a dewatering processes which was taking place already. Part of the water was lost by drainage, and part of water by runoff, and also by evaporation. And the target for, in fact, the solid content upon deposition in this cell 32 was 32, close to 32% solid content. And 48 days, you can see after deposition of the FFT, as you can see, this material, in fact, had already desiccated, and they could still work on it. And this, I'm sure, recognize this is my step mark, which has taken all the reading from the tensiometer. As you can see, after 48 days, they were also able to start depositing the second layer. And this was during summer. And the solid content, after 48 days, went through from 32 to 57%. And the shear strength of some of the spots, which was measured, was close to 3 kPa. So this deposit was left during winter, the whole winter, And at the end of the winter, close to the end of the winter, we went back to collect some frozen core sample from this same cell, different cells, including this cell 32. And these are the core samples, we collect from cell 32. And then we took to the lab, UAV, for analysis, for geotechnical analysis. As you can see in this table, the solid content example for this cell 32, which we measure both the top and the bottom. As you can see, most of the bottom, the solid content was higher at the bottom, which we really assume that was a consolidation mechanism from bottom drainage. It's very important to assume, because we didn't measure the effective stress or the pore pressure in the cell. So we assume that the increase in solid content was due to the consolidation mechanism. So we took the sample to our lab, and we did some particle size distribution and also the plasticity chart. As you can see, this material is almost sealed clay material. As by definition of oil sand industry grain, you can see they are clay size material of 2 micron, which was close to factor we did the disperse and non-disperse, from 46 to 66%. And also, we did also the MNB, the methylene blue test, which is also dispersed, which was close to what we did of particle size distribution. And for this sign, you can see that the ratio, sand to fine ratio is 0.6, was very little amount of sand. And also, we plotted the ATABAC, the test result. As you can see, this is as a medium plastic soil. And we also conducted a large strain consolidation test, and this is our setup. And this figure appeared to most of the papers. In fact, this is a UAV setup of large strain consolidation. The most important thing here is to see that during the large strain consolidation, we used to also to measure the pore pressure, so that you can measure, you can see the excess pore pressure has decreased. And just to show you a typical curve, step load and the permeability measurement. So at each load, when you increase or put the load, you let the material consolidate until you reach a final consolidation. And of course, at the same time, we were measuring the excess pore pressure, which dissipates in the same fashion. Once we reach the final consolidation point, then we do the hydraulic conductivity measurement. Then we increase again the load. This is a typical step load of large scale consolidation. Just to show you some of the results, this is 2 years ago. And the two most important relationship of the large strain consolidation is the compressibility and the hydraulic conductivity. And these curves, as you can see, they are almost resemble to all dewatering processes curve. Those are familiar with water characteristic curve, water retention curve, which have 3 stages of the shape. The first shape, which is almost constant, in this case, void ratio, which is a very little change with effective stress. And after a certain point, you see a drop, a really sharp drop of the curve, or the void ratio, and you reach a point where both curves converge to the same void ratio. If I continue there, you can see that's a plateau. And then this is very important, what this shape explain. As you see, the first stage, which is a very very slow change of void ratio, this is very important. That's what we call the over-consolidation of material. This is very important because what happens in the field, you dump your material, then your MF2 will stay there. without consolidation for a long period of time. And this is the reason, because this is what we call, it's a gain of strength, what we call the subtropic strength in the material. So until you exceed this effective stress, that's why you can see consolidation. No consolidation occur below in this case, 1 kPa. You need to exceed that effective stress. And exactly what I was saying, what happened in the dump, the tailing dump, you dump your material. And this is isotropic property. It is time dependent. It takes a long period of time for the self-weight consolidation for the effective stress, vertical effective stress to develop a stress which will be in excess to the over-consolidation stress for the consolidation to take such appearing. So on the other side, these are the reconductivities. As the Voigt ratio decrease, you have also decrease in reconductivities. So just to conclude and a bit of observations of this test, results indicate an increase of about 40% in solid content over a period of 5 months. And that, of course, include summer period. And the solid content of Xi, as we have seen from the bottom, and we assume that it was assume that it was a consolidation mechanism with bottom drainage. The compressibility is very important, which indicates an over-consolidation pressure. The effective stress has to exceed at least 1 kPa for the consolidation to take place. But these results are only valid for the MFT, the type of mineralogy flocculant used on that particular time period. And to acknowledge company and people who contributed to this paper, and this funding, as I mentioned before, was provided by Syncrude and Total. And thank you also for Jerry, who really did a lot of work, went during winter to take this core sample, and Chansley also from Faber, who helped me the initial installation of the light rail consolidation. This was our first light rail consolidation by the time we moved to University of Alberta. And many thanks to Professor Don Scott for technical suggestions, and also to Vivian, who helped us in editing this paper. And my best souvenir for the pilot plant and the visit of people. Thank you very much for your attention.